Okay, for our aesthetic students, I wanted to always make it a point that we reference back to our bulletin, okay, that we're going to be using to help test with as a reference for PSI, the number one reference to what's on your exam. So when we have the theory, esthetician theory content outline, this tells you detail of what's on the exam. Okay. Um, Safety and infection control, 34%. And let's look at just a few things here. Okay. I believe it may be 100 questions. It because if you add up the percentages, you're gonna get 100. And in the other edits for other disciplines, it kind of gives you a set amount, a set of number, but we'll go for 100 on here. Today, I want us to look at client consultation, 3%, and then skin analysis, 13%. So you can expect for skin analysis at least 13 questions. All right. So if you're dealing with 100 questions, 13%, 13 questions. With skin analysis, skin type and services, skin structure, skin conditions, and disorders as they relate to contraindications. Okay. So also my day students are going over skin analysis. So this is something that everybody day and night shift would be able to appreciate. All right. So I do want to go into that area. Here's the areas for you to study. So I know if we got an esthetician student on, and you know you're going to have 13 questions out of skin analysis, I don't want you all over the place. I want you to go to your chapter for skin analysis, and I want you to look at the objectives. Okay. You're going to find skin type and services. That's where some questions are going to come from. Skin structure. That's where questions are going to come from. And then skin conditions and disorders as they relate to contraindications. That's where your questions are coming from. Now, so here's the thing. I need you to know already what's a contraindication. Something that causes doubt for you not to do the service. All right. So it looks like it's going to be pretty heavy. Know the difference between a condition and a disorder. Okay. Know the difference between a condition and disorder. Also, what's the skin structure? Okay. And also skin type. Okay. Skin type is going to reference Fitzpatrick scale. Also, it's going to be referencing the 4 basic skin types: oily skin, dry skin, normal skin, and combination skin. Right. And so those are some key areas that we should be looking at. Let me move over now to SEMA. Chapter 5 in the blue tab. We're going to kick off with terms. We did terms for chapter 7 and chapter 8 review last night. Let's pick up terms for chapter 5 and see if we got any, we go to our flashcards. See what we got. Oh, this is good. We got 25 terms. It'll be good if everybody on here could participate. Skin type. We just noticed that they were going to ask about skin types on the PSI exam. So I'm giving you some good information. Please take note. You got a term, skin type, okay? And you want to add that to your list. Skin type. Can anybody give me a reference to skin type? You can unmute. Can anybody give me a reference? Huh?
Sensitive skin.
Sensitive skin would be a condition. That's what I wanted to tell you. Now, sensitive skin is not considered a skin type. Some people or some sites would have said that it's the 5th skin type. But no, you can have oily skin and sensitive, dry skin and sensitive, combination and sensitive. But sensitive is a condition, not a skin type. But I'm glad that you mentioned that because I needed to express that. Okay. So a skin type is defined as a classification that describes a person's genetic skin type, what they were born with. Okay. Sometimes skin types, of course, just like hair, skin color, different traits, it can be genetically. Okay. It can have a genetic makeup, DNA, something that it can run through the family, so all kinds of stuff. So skin type refers to the classification that describes a person's genetic skin type. Going to the next one. Genetic. What do you think that means? And you can use any words. You don't have to use words pretty much. I don't want you to quote it straight out the dictionary, but genetic, GENETIC. What do you think?
DNA.
DNA. All right, I like that. Yes, related to heredity and ancestry of origin. If you seen this, would you be able to connect the two on the exam?
Mm-hmm.
Great. Because you already got DNA, and then you're looking at ancestry of origin, heredity. Okay, all of that would go back to genes, genetic. T-zone. Can somebody tell me the area where the T-zone is affected? Where's the T-zone?
Forehead and nose.
All right. Forehead, nose, and chin. All right. Forehead, nose, chin. It looks like a T. Let's turn. And it's the center area of the face, correct? Corresponds to the T shape formed by the forehead, nose, and chin. Good job. Let's see if we got somebody who needs to come in. I got somebody texting me. Hold on one moment. Yeah, sometimes we gotta do an encouragement of our neighbors. You don't want them to give up. We gotta do some encouragement of our neighbors, okay? And so that's what I'm doing. All right, so let's look at here. We said T-zone, forehead, nose, chin represents a T, center of the face. Good job. Palpation. What did you refer to? Anybody remember that term?
That has to do with your heart palpitations. Am I? No, that's wrong word.
I don't know now.
Let me look at how. You know what? I think that it.
Okay. Here's what I want
I'm
you to
sorry.
know
I
about.
was thinking palpitations. I'm thinking heart. Look,
I know. Okay, but when you see this word in skincare, it related to touch. You know how most of the time they require us to have our gloves on, right? But when you do an analysis, I told the student the other day, I need you to get in there and get some, I need you to touch, figure out what the texture is. Okay, figure out what the texture is. And so even though they had their gloves on, I needed them to get in there, take the gloves off. I told them wash, sanitize your hands, and I need you to touch the skin. I generally need you to really know how this looks so you and how it feels so you'll know what you're looking for at the end. So let's turn. It's the manual manipulation of tissue by touching to make an assessment of its condition. So you ever seen somebody take their finger and just kind of bounce the jaw? You know, you just kind of trying to see how bouncy, how elastic the skin is. Does it jump up? Is it tight? Is it loose? And so that's pretty much it. If you was to take your hand and just kind of like if you had like a muscle cramp and you just have to you hit in your hand, that will fall into the same category. So we would do that on the face as well. I like to do it on the cheek area where there's fatty tissue, and I would just do like little movements on that area just to see how it bounces back to me. How's the elasticity? Okay, is this skin just no life? It doesn't just when I touch it and when I try to pop it, does it just snag? Does it just shrink? You know, does it pop back, or is it just sagging skin? There's nothing fatty under there. So palpation is going to be with touch. Okay. If you come on, clock in on home base and also put your name in the chat. Welcome. We are going over chapter 5, terms and flashcards to 7 p.m. Um, terms and flashcards to 7 p.m. Okay. Holistically, let's take the word holistic. And I'm going to tell you, when you see the word holistic in aesthetics, we are talking about the wellness end of skincare. Okay. Holistic is, of course, using your hands, can be an energy base. If you've ever been to a church and they've laid their hands on you, that's holistic healing. So estheticians, cosmetologists, when we lay our hands on someone's energy source, their neck, their head, you know, we are really a transfer of energy and we are operating in holistic healing. So your energy, your goodness that you carry can really make a person feel good, especially when you're touching that central nervous system area. So touching all those nerves, touching all of that, touching down the back, that spinal area. Okay. That's holistic healing through touch. And that is called the wellness end of skincare. So I'm gonna pause when I get to 10 and I want to ask your suggestion on something real quick. But let's turn, okay? You evaluating the entire individual. So not just skincare, the entire person, okay? Entire person. So all of the systems, mind, well, they usually say mind, body, and soul. Mind, body, and soul. I love it. This is an abbreviation. Who knows what this means? TEWL. I don't expect you to, but I want you to. TEWL. What does that mean? And I need to put it in the chat too. Welcome, Jemiah. Okay, TEWL. Y'all ready? Never forget this. trans epidermal water loss. Trans epidermal water loss. That's TEWL. Okay. Think about it. Trans epidermal water loss. All right. So epidermal, okay, that's the layer of the skin, water loss. Something that has lost water is not moist, but it's what?
Dry. So this will make
It's
me
dry.
think of somebody they have this condition, then they have dry skin.
Yep. But not no ordinary dry skin. You're absolutely correct. You can, example, think about this. You can put lotion on someone and it could be all good. And what, by the time they take a nighttime shower, right? Put lotion and stuff on, but by the time they get into bed an hour later, their skin dry like they never had it on. That trans epidermal water loss, it's your skin soaks it up. Your skin is a suction anyway. It's gonna soak up anything you put on it. But you're gonna have to do more for this skin type, and especially in the colder months, because the skin is just gonna soak up whatever you put on it. Trans epidermal water loss is going to equal also, and you to add emollient, something thicker that coats the skin. So this is why sometimes people will go to petroleum jelly. They will go to shea butters, things like that. And honestly, shea butter is better than petroleum jelly. Your skin absorbs it and it's not comedogenic. It does not cause pimples or blackheads. I ain't gonna say pimples, but it don't cause blackheads and it don't cause whiteheads. Okay. When you think of Vaseline or petroleum jelly, it is a heavy coating that smothers our pores. So stuff that's supposed to come up out of the pores, you got that petroleum jelly on top of it, you're trapping that in. So your skin feels like it's smothered because what's supposed to come out can't come out because that thick layer of petroleum that's sitting on top of the skin. So if you have to have something petroleum based, I'm going to tell people all the time, you need to have an A&D ointment, okay? A&D ointment, and then Aquaphor, those are recommended from medical professionals to help with healing. So it has some healing properties, but you can emulsify that and it does what you need it to do, but it will not clog the pores. All right. Your skin can still breathe. And so just be careful and mindful about what you're doing. But trans epidermal water loss, okay, is a thing. You may have it, your clients may have it. Oh my goodness. What if your clients are on a farm or are they in the country where there's well water? Well, well water is going to equal dry skin. It's going to fight against your skin. It's going to pull all the moisture out of your skin. So if your house, wherever you live, is on a well and you got well water coming through, it's going to pull everything out of your skin. So of course you got to take a shower, you got to take baths. So you're going to have an extra routine before bed or before leaving, after shower routine that's going to probably include a moisture building. So you may have to do a layer of one thing and then add another layer on top of that to make sure you don't have a severe drying of the skin. Okay, so that's trans epidermal water loss, TEWL. I need you guys never to forget that. Okay. Transepidermal water loss caused by evaporation of the skin surface. So I mean, it pulls everything in, The Fitzpatrick scale goes from what numbers? Anybody know what
1 to
numbers?
5.
1 to 5. 1 to 5, it's gonna go up to 6. You got 1 is going to be no melanin, absolutely none whatsoever, and also be the same for albinos. Okay, those individuals are found closer to the North Pole, their natural origin closer to the North Pole. Those individuals may have freckles and red hair and green eyes. Those individuals may also be from a small area, Antarctica, what other small area? Ireland, okay? They eventually migrated over to Europe, the London, and this is where you have the second type 2 on the Fitzpatrick scale. Still pale, just not as pale, and still European, okay? Must do double suntan, okay? You have next 3. 3 is what we call dark Caucasian. They're gonna migrate from, they're still in Europe, but they're gonna go from London over to England over to France, okay? So now you're talking about Italy, you're talking about the Dutch. You're also getting a little bit of Asian in as well. Very high pale Asians, okay? And then you're gonna go over to 4. 4, you're gonna start to see a mix of different cultures. Those cultures gonna include people of color, okay? People of color. And people of color is gonna be anybody who is not Caucasian, European, okay? People of color from 4, 5, and 6 are going to be Africans, African Americans. It's going to be Southern. It's going to be Northern African. It's going to be Iranian. It's going to be some Chinese, Korean, um, Pakistani. It's going to be Spanish. It's going to be everybody, India and Native American, Indian, and Indians. Okay. So it's going to be a collection of individuals who have an array of cultural backgrounds from all over the world, but they have melanin in their skin. Got it? 4 through 6. The Fitzpatrick scale is there to help you understand how the sun affects the skin and then how to treat the skin once you know how much skin the sun can take. Okay, let's turn it. It's a scale used to measure the skin type's ability to tolerate the sun. Period. Okay. And everybody's going on break. Let's see, let me tell you this. The Fitzpatrick scale, never, you'll never put it down. You'll always need the Fitzpatrick scale. Okay. We're going over terms. Okay. Usually I put this in a pronunciation, but you guys can do it. It's Tangala Tasha, and I have messed that all the way up. It's gonna be with whenever I see that, I think about blood vessels. And so think about broken capillaries, okay? And you can tell because they're closer to the skin, so you'll be able to tell what's broken. This is gonna be important because you use the steamer, okay? And the steam has an allotted amount of time. Okay, so steam could stimulate. It opens up pores, so anything else that's close to the skin surface, it also stimulates. Décolleté, okay? Décolleté. We as estheticians, we're gonna service the face and the décolleté. All right, let's look and see what the décolleté. Okay, décolletage. It is French, pertaining to a woman's lower neck and chest. All right, lower neck and chest. So I'm not only doing the face, I'm doing the décolleté. So I got the face, the neck, and the upper chest. All right. A lot of people, what do we call upper chest? You may call it what do people call the upper part of the chest? Cleavage. Okay. Um, they don't say it has a top part of the shoulders too, but you'll also service that. You might say, Ms. Costa, why do we have to do the face, the neck, and the décolleté? Because you want everything to look alike. Okay. You want it to look alike. Tech neck. If anybody heard of tech neck, can y'all tell me what's tech neck?
Maybe our posture, like because we hold our neck a certain way because we're looking down waxing facials.
Yeah,
Well,
it has something to do with that. Tech neck is you know, it can be developed by always looking down at your phone or joystick. Um, Literally, it was only developed in the last couple of years, this term. So it's tech neck where you have your clients or you could have spasms, you can have so many things going on when you move your neck because your neck been down in your phone for so long, or on a device. Okay. And tech neck causes wrinkles in the neck area, y'all. Right tide, make sure you make a note. Please make a note. You may say, Ms. Costa, what's a right tide? Hold on. Right tides are wrinkles. All right. It's just a technical term for wrinkles. Right tides. All right. If you're gonna move into med aesthetics, there's a whole nother set of terms you gotta learn. And this is one of them. Bright tides that develop or wrinkles that develop due to the repeated movement of looking down at a cell phone or other electric device. All right, so you can tell your clients by looking down at their phone all the time, you can cause wrinkles in your neck. That is called neck, technique. Okay, you're looking down at your devices. Dehydration. Okay, dehydration. Okay, your body could be hydrated and it could be dehydrated. Can anybody tell me what they think dehydrated is?
the absence of water and hydration in your body.
Yes. And most of the time when you are dehydrated, well, everybody needs to be careful. The summertime going on, you know, the water, the sun can pull um, it really pulls vitamin D out of our body. And a lot of people say we get vitamin D from the sun, but the sun can also pull it out. As you go on your vacations and things like that, please make sure you're wearing sunscreen. Please make sure you're wearing sunglasses. Get you a big old hat, okay? Get under the shade, get under the umbrella. You want to preserve your skin as much as possible. More exposure under the sun really dries the skin out and causes it to wrinkle. Okay. When it comes to dehydration, once that ball gets to rolling, it could cause you to be very, very sick, and it could take more than water to hydrate you again. Okay, been there, done that. Even heard of people losing their lives because they were dehydrated. Okay, I had an uncle preparing for the 4th of July, you know, out there in the grass, getting the yard together, and came in because he was tired and thirsty and couldn't get that thirst, you know, together, and laid down, took a nap, and did not wake up. All right.
Mm.
Uh, the final thing, guess what they said? It was hot and dehydrated. He had spent too much time out there in the sun, and it was probably, I'm gonna guarantee that he was in the sun at the highest time that it is. People send so around the afternoon, 2 or 3 o'clock. So my family has always advocated, look, sit down somewhere and get you some water, get you some electrolytes. Have you some electrolytes on hand. If you're gonna have a sweet and you got a little bar, have you some electrolytes on hand. You never know when you're gonna need them. Let's turn lack of water. Okay. And we're not talking about you saying, oh, I can just drink water. But don't you know water makes 70% of your body function, especially your muscles? Okay. So when you're dehydrated, yes, you're trying to drink water, but how long is it going to take that water to get to other parts of the body? You got to drink a whole lot of water. So best call your medical professionals. You might have to get some fluids, electrolytes, and things like that in your system, just so you can start feeling better. But we don't take that vividly as well at all. Rye ties. I just told somebody what rye ties were. What are rye ties?
Wrinkles.
Yes. Rye ties are wrinkles. Oh, hirsutism. This is going to be related to hair removal. You'll see this term again in hair removal. And because you guys have about 11 questions on hair removal, you will see this term again. Hirsutism. We'll talk about abnormal hair growth. Let's turn it. Condition pertaining to an excessive growth of or cover of hair. Now, you know what? And we're not talking about on the scalp. We're talking about on the body, an excessive amount of growth of hair. And you have some women that get full beards, okay? We're not talking about a few chin hairs. We're talking about a woman, she was like, I just stopped shaving every day because it kept coming back. It kept coming back. And she is a woman with a whole full beard from ear to ear. And every now and then, once it grows in, then she shaves it off. She just says she don't feel like shaving everything. And you will pick that up as you begin to work out in the field. Now, I think that I'm just going to say the next couple of terms are going to be associated with abnormal hair growth. So you just had excessive growth, hypertrichosis. Okay, this is a note, hypertrichosis. Whenever you see hyper, you're going to see more of something. Whenever you see trish, T-R-I-C-H, it means hair. So these are medical terms referring to a lot of hair. Okay, let's see what it is. All right, hirsutism, I want you to remember excessive amount of hair growth, okay, that covers a body part that normally would not have that much hair. And now we have hypertrichosis. It's a condition of abnormal hair growth. So now you have hair growth in areas you normally would not have hair. Can somebody give me an example of a woman having an abnormal amount of hair in areas she normally would not supposed to have hair?
On the chest, cleavage area.
Yep. Women having hair in between the breast area. I've seen that. Grew up, high school best friend had hair. She used to put oil on it. I didn't understand it, but yeah, hair in that area. Give me another place that you see women with hair. You know, they have this abnormal amount of hair in this place where normally women don't have hair. What area?
A back.
We see it all the time.
Back.
Well, they can have it on their back because it may be genetic. I guess I'm looking for
Okay.
hair
Well,
on
yeah.
women having gold teeth, women
Yeah.
having hair in the chin area, women having sideburns that come all the way down like me and pork chops, you know, like you're gonna line it up. That's what I'm referring to. And most of the time, you find women that have an abnormal amount of hair, excessive amount of hair. They also have this abnormal hair as well. Okay, so women will have, just say, they got a lot of hair on their arms and on their back. Okay, that's hirsutism. But they also may have hair on the chin that you have to shave off or wax. They may have hair that may connect from ear to ear like a beard. You have to shave or you have to wax. That would be considered hypertrichosis because the women's statue, the feminine, you don't have women with beards. And so finding a woman with a beard, that's hypertrichosis. It is a condition of abnormal hair growth of hair characterized by the growth of terminal hair in areas of the body that normally grow only vellus hair. And what does that mean? On the face, you normally will have vellus hair. It's hair on the face that you cannot see, but you can feel it a little bit. Can't see it. Vellus hair is what you would dermaplane. But a lot of times when you're dermaplaning and you dermaplane wrong, people don't understand that. Where if you do it prematurely, you could cause or give a signal to the growth structure of the hair. Oh, it's time for terminal hair to grow in, which now the hair grows in with color. So now you start to see stronger and darker hair come on into certain areas. I hope you understood that. But yeah, if you're in a grocery store, you see a woman with chin hair, she got hypertrichosis. Melasma, I absolutely love. Melasma is something you guys need to take down and you need to study simply because melasma is one of those things they're constantly researching about, and people, they're starting now the last couple of years to learn research on it. But melasma, and this hits a lot of people of color, a lot of women of color. A form of hyperpigmentation. So melasma falls into hyperpigmentation, okay? Bilateral patches of brown pigmentation on the cheeks, jawline, forehead, upper lip due to hormonal imbalances, such as pregnancy, birth control, hormone replacement. So you can see melasma in clients with birth control. You can see melasma in clients who have PCOS or any hormone deficiencies. Okay, clients who are pregnant as well. And here's also, you can see melasma, y'all. If a client has had sunburn and they are healed from the sunburn, but it has left this darkening of the skin, there's no like go-to cure for this. You have to let it run its course. Sometimes it gets bigger, okay? And sometimes over time it'll start to get smaller. But this is why I'm saying melasma is something you should always check in with because there's more information that's being developed every day and discovered every day. That's melasma. It's a form of hyperpigmentation, okay? And can be caused by pregnancy, birth control, or hormonal replacement surgery. Solar comedones, we got 5 minutes and we're gonna turn it over to Cosmo. Solar comedones is clogged pores, okay? So let's see what solar comedones are. Large open comedones, usually around the eyes due to sun exposure. This is why, again, I'm saying sunscreen and wearing your sunglasses, okay? So it's large open comedones, usually around the eyes due to sun exposure. So you need to make sure you protect your client's eyes. You know, we put those little patches on, but make sure you can put those patches on or make sure that sunscreen is sitting around the eyes as well, okay? It's gonna block the sun exposure and you're not gonna have those large open comedones. If you have large open comedones and you get whatever's in there out, that's going to leave you with a large pore. All right. Once you extract the comedone, you need to go in and get the high frequency one, put it over that pore to shrink it back down. Okay. If not, you're going to have a large pore where more stuff can start to get in it. Okay. And pores that enlarge themselves, they can get very comfortable and it can be very hard to shrink them back down. A straight, okay, is a dermal scar. All right, it's a dermal scar. We do relate it to muscles. It's a term in the muscular category. And notice here it says connective tissue. Okay. It's dermal scars due to rapid expansion or stretching of connective tissue. Again, you may see this in puberty, pregnancy, weight gain. When a person's skin starts to stretch, it also will probably remind you of stretch marks, things of that nature, okay? We got 3 more minutes. Extrinsic, outside, primarily environmental factors that contribute to aging and the appearances of aging. Extrinsic, okay? Next, you'll probably see intrinsic, where it's photosensitivity, all right? High sensitivity of the skin to UV light. So your LED, your magnifying light, your client may have an issue with these, all right? They may need a different type of light. There's intrinsic, like I thought, skin aging factors over which we have little control because they're part of our genetics and family heredity. So these are aging factors that just naturally come about, right? Naturally come about. 21, contraindications. Whenever you see contraindications, think of doubts, okay? Or stop or no. Whenever contraindications are in play, we are not going to receive that services. If a contraindication is in play, that says no to the service. All right, let's turn. Factor that prohibits no. A treatment due to a condition. Treatments could cause harmful or negative side effects to those who have specific medical or skin conditions. It's a no. Okay. Now, I know we got to close out, but I'm going to go and look this particular word up. I'm not even going to mess it up. Okay, it refers to acetane. It's the brand name for Accutane. This is going to be very important when we get ready to go over hair removal, simply because knowing that a client has retinol, vitamin A, or Accutane on their skin, that is going to be important because they cannot get certain chemical peels, they cannot get certain cleansers, they cannot get certain masks, they cannot get certain hair removal services, no waxing, okay? And so just knowing about Accutane, doing a little research, retinol, vitamin A, it's gonna help you in your skin decisions when you start to become a professional. Okay. Now, this is our abbreviation, NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. Okay, over-the-counter medications used to reduce inflammation, such as ibuprofen. So an NSAID is example of an ibuprofen, helps reduce inflammation and can be purchased over the counter. It is 7 o'clock and we got 2 more, Miss Candace. Consent form. The consent form, it says, okay, we can do it. A customary written agreement, which means, y'all, it is already, it's normal that you get a consent form signed before you do the service. When do we start doing the service? Before proper documentation. A customary written consent agreement between the esthetician, salon spa, and the client for applying a treatment, whether routine or pre-operative, before they go for surgery, okay? So even though you got technique, even though we got behind the scenes, we got to take care of the paperwork. Okay. So we got to make sure that we have that. This covers us as well. So anything happens, the client is actually saying that everything they told us is good to their knowledge. Everything they have been honest. If they have not and something happens, you won't be the cause of it. It'll all fall back to the person that was dishonest. And remember, once you start taking money, you're considered the expert in whatever you're doing. And so you're not supposed to be doing, they can come back around. You're not supposed to be doing something. They can come back around and sue you. Okay. And they'll win because you knew better. You went to school. You the one invested. You the one considered the expert. And you charged me money for it. So we got to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves on both sides. All right, and last but not least, we're looking at Wood's lamp. The Wood's lamp itself is a tool that you can put over the face. You don't touch it, but it works with complete black light, okay? And based on the colors that you see when you look through the lamp, it tells you what's going on with the skin. So it just gives you a little bit more confirmation. Let's turn it around. Filtered black light that's used to eliminate skin disorders. So it allows you to see what's going on with the skin, fungal bacterial disorders, and pigmentation. All right. That was 25 terms for aesthetics, and we're done right at 7:02. So my SD students, go back into your portal, chapter 5, down at the bottom flashcards, and review those terms. We're going to jump back on those terms for a quiz on Thursday, okay? So make sure you guys go into the portal, review your terms for chapter 5. I'm going to hand it over to Miss Candace. You good, Miss Candace? Is Miss Candace on? And y'all, earlier today, we had so many issues with Zoom, but it's working fine now. If my esthetician students, you want to jump off, that's fine.